Can they hear us?
Hello, and welcome to the Melvin Live Show, and this is episode 102. All right, and in today's show, we're going to be talking about, well, we're going to be following up about what we talked about yesterday. Um, Yesterday, we talked about what you need to start with live stream. What we're going to be talking about today is what software that you should use if you want to go live. All right, and so that's going to be the focus of today's show itself. But before that, I would like to do a few things. One is let me turn on the lights here.
I am the big boss now.
That's my sit. Right. So we're going to be talking about what specific software to use for live streaming. All right. So right off the bat itself, before you're wondering what's going on here, this is the Melvin Live Show, and in this show itself, we talked about the mindset, skill set, and tool set of building a one-person, 1 million old digital business, right? And so one of the best digital business to get into these days is actually, of course, creating an online course. And and one of the key aspect of creating an online course is that you want to be able to market the course. And one of the best way to do that is actually through live streaming. And so what this exactly what we're going to be talking about here today in terms of what you can do with live streaming. So yesterday we talked about what are some of the gear that you would need to start live streaming. So we talked about the camera, we talked about the most basic things, right? The lowest level, the easiest entry point. What are the things that you need, right? And then we take it one notch up and two notches up and three notches up to share with you what are the gear that you will need to do a live stream. And if you want something like as professional as mine, then you will have to take it at least two or three notches up from the baseline itself. And so if you have not watched that video, make sure you go back and check out the video itself, because that is where we share a ton of what you can do in order to get your live stream started. But today, what I want to touch on is the aspect of when you're doing live streaming and you have someone else in someone else here. What are you going to do? Well, you just push them away, and hopefully they will not return again. But in some cases it's not possible, and so we
We
will do what
will do
we
what
can,
we can.
just to get on with it, because otherwise I will be here till 2 a.m. And so let's get started here in terms of the software that we will use. Now, right off the bat, first thing first is that why do we need software? I say if you want to be in the show, then I suggest you sit down and not
Okay.
interrupt me, okay? Because there are people watching. All right. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So right off the bat, I think the fundamental question is why do you need a software? Now, before we get into that, you will definitely know that you can live stream directly from the web browser itself if you're using the 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 laptop as the way to do your live streaming. But of course, if you are using your cell phone, then obviously the native app would enable you to do live streaming. But what happens if you want to simulcast? That means you want to broadcast your live stream to more than one destination. Now, typically, what's going to happen is that when you decide to live stream on one platform natively, so for example, I go into YouTube and I launch the live on YouTube, and then I go onto Facebook and I launch the live on Facebook. Typically, what's going to happen is that you know you can only use one input to feed into these two places. So, in other words, what's going to happen is that one, let's say if you feed it to YouTube, Facebook might say that they do not have access to your webcam, and so it kind of do not allow you to stream to two places at once. In addition to that, what's going to happen is that if you try to stream to two places at once, even if your computer allows you to do that, you need to have a relatively powerful computer with enough processing speed and enough RAM itself to be able to broadcast and to convert the signal from the camera or the external webcam into a digital format that is fed into the streaming um, platform. So what's going to pose a problem is that unless you have a very high end computer, or you have an external hardware that takes care of all this coding and encoding the signal into something that can be fed into the computer itself. Unless you have those, usually you are going to be constrained to just streaming to one location at a time. Now, of course, you could work around this by using multiple phones or iPads or laptops. So you can stream, let's say you open up your laptop and you stream to YouTube. You open up your iPad and you stream to Facebook. And then on your Instagram, you open up your phone and you stream to Instagram. Of course, you can do that, right? And that is totally fine because you could just look at the different cameras from time to time and say that, well, I'm addressing the YouTube people here, the Facebook people here, and the Instagram people here, for example, right? I mean, that is absolutely workable, and I have done that. But if you want some level of consistency to for whatever reasons, then obviously you would want to consider using some kind of a software. Now, one of the key benefits of the software is if you want to broadcast to multiple destinations, the software actually takes care of that. Now, I'm not sure how exactly the software works because, I'm not the technical guy here. But what I do understand is that it actually takes that signal and distribute it to the relevant channels. And so you will be, one of the key thing that you will be able to do is that you definitely will be able to broadcast to different destination and even multiple destination, right? Now, the other thing is that for the the only platform I know that you will need a software to broadcast live, it's LinkedIn. So, for example, when I had the access to the LinkedIn live beta feature itself, I actually had to purchase a third party software that enables me to broadcast live. So, what happened is that LinkedIn is a little different from the other platforms in the sense that it doesn't allow you to stream live directly from their app. You actually have to use a third party tool in order to broadcast, and that will be fed into your LinkedIn stream. So, so LinkedIn is the only one that you would definitely need a third party software to do that. For the rest of the other platforms, at least the ones I'm familiar with, like Facebook, YouTube, you do not need a what I would say you do not need, unless you want to, you do not need a third party software to do your live streaming. Okay, so with that clear, if you're thinking about YouTube, Facebook, you can stream using the web browser, going into facebook.com and clicking on go live, or going into youtube.com and clicking on go live on YouTube. So that is what you can do on the desktop or the laptop. Now on the cell phone, if you want to broadcast live, obviously you can only choose one app because you cannot multitask on a cell phone. So on cell phone itself, you can choose to broadcast live one at a time to Facebook, one at a time to Instagram, right? On mobile itself, you for most of you, you would not be able to broadcast live from your mobile device for YouTube, and the reason is because they kind of prevent. They want to they they only give that access if you have, I think, 1,000 subscribers, if I'm not mistaken, right? So until you have that 1,000 subscribers, then that feature is made available to you. Otherwise, it is not. So live streaming from the cell phone, Facebook, Instagram, and of course the other platforms itself, right? And so if you're going to be streaming um, on your mobile device and you want to stream to LinkedIn, the only mobile device that I know that allows you to do that, it's Switcher Studio. Now there are some other third-party too, but they're a little bit clunky, so it's not something that I would recommend. So if you want something that is stable, you want something that is good, um, and you want to broadcast live on LinkedIn, then the app that you definitely want to use is Switcher Studio. Now, by no means this is a paid endorsement. I'm a paid user. I paid myself to get access to Switcher Studio. I like it, but there are limitations as well. So that's my take on it. Okay, so with that aside, now what are some of the software that you can explore? Now, again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with three levels. So, at one level, it will be a software that is free to use, and I will give you some recommendations. And then at the second level, it's where you have to pay a recurring fee to use that software, and I'll give you some options as well. And then at the higher end, of course, there are other options available to you. All right. So with that, let's look at the three levels of live streaming software that you can consider. So let's go with the free ones first. Now, the free ones that I've used before, number one, it's called OBS. Now, OBS is a free tool available for both Mac as well as Windows, and it is a powerful tool. For the fact that it is free, it is so powerful that you there probably isn't much reason for you to choose anywhere else if what you want is just a third-party software to allow you to stream live to those platforms. Now, point to note is that, of course, OBS is only available on the laptop. That means, unless you're using a computer, you cannot use OBS on iPad or the tablets or the cell phone itself. So OBS is the only for the what do you call that? The computer, right? Now, and so that's absolutely free. Um, the good thing is that it's got lots of features that in many other cases you would actually have to pay to use those features. For examples like overlay and filters and all that stuff. Um, Now, for me, I find that it's a little bit too much to handle, and so for my shows itself, I just want to keep it simple, but at the same time professional, right? So I'm not looking at those things, but definitely I want to be able to try that out so that I could let you know what is possible. So that's OBS. Now the other two software that I will recommend to you, they actually work on a a freemium model, which means they give you free if there is a free plan, but there are also paid plans. All right, so the tool that I am suggesting to you, number one, is called StreamYard. Now, StreamYard is a tool that I've used extensively, especially during the circuit breaker. And I like that tool itself because it's very easy to use. Plus, it gives me the ability to bring in a guest. And so I can bring it up to, if I'm not mistaken, up to two guests. And that kind of gives me the ability to bring on people, especially during the time where I was co-producing a show from one of the companies here. And so what we really wanted to do is to have myself as the host of the show, um, the a representative from the company, and also a guest that we want to interview. And so that is a great software to use. Now, of course, for that software itself, there is a free version, and free version has got some limitation. For example, um, you can broadcast to only two destination, right? And that is the limitation number one. The other limitation is that it has the watermark on the when you stream live, and so people know that you are using StreamYard as the tool. And so if you're just experimenting and just starting out, I think there's no harm using the free version because it gives you a sense of how things are. And until and unless you have a reason, like for me, I was producing a show for the company, and so obviously I had a reason to want to remove that watermark. And so, and besides, I was being paid to do that. So obviously, I want to be able to have the stream as clean as possible, right? So StreamYard is one that you can definitely check it out. Now, the other one that I've used and I like it too, and up till today, I've still been kicking myself for not picking it up during a lifetime deal brought to you by AppSumo. And that platform is actually called Restream.io. Now, Restream.io works very much the same as StreamYard. It's just that Restream has got a lot more destinations that you can stream to. I'll be honest with you, some of those destinations I've never heard of. And so, if you want to broadcast to many, many destinations at the same time, then obviously you want to pick up Restream because Restream allows you to do that. Um, I've used Restream and the free version, that is. I've not tried the paid version yet. For Restream, the free version allows you to broadcast to Facebook, your Facebook profile, but not a Facebook page. So that is one limitation. And so all these tools are all on the desktop or the laptop, or you need a computer to do that. Now let's look at on the cell phone itself. Now on a cell phone, you can actually right now you can actually use StreamYard, right? So every phone has got a browser. So all you need to do is to go to your browser on your smartphone, and here they are recommending that you should use or you have to use a Chrome based browser. So you can use Chrome or you can use Microsoft Edge. And once you have that, what you can do is you are able to stream using the web browser on the phone. So StreamYard allows you to do that both on the computer as well as on the phone. So if you find that you are probably going to be in a situation where you are going to be, live streaming on the go, then definitely I think StreamYard might be a good choice for you, specifically because of the fact that they are they are workable both on the computer as well as on the smartphone. And I have to add that this is a recent feature that has just came out. And so, if you really want to try that out, I suggest that um, you give StreamYard a shot. Okay, so that is with the cell phone. Now I remember that there is an app called Streamlabs, and I've used that before. And with Streamlabs as an app, you could actually connect it to your Restream uh, account, and that would allow you to stream to the different places. And so I've tried using Streamlab as an app on my Android phone, my Google Pixel, and I link the Streamlab app to my Restream account, and that allows me to stream to LinkedIn Live, right? So on the cell phone, those are some of the options that you can consider. Of course, Streamlab is a free app on the Android. I'm not sure if they have a similar app on iOS itself, but that's an option that is available to you. Now, so that is what you have access to if you're just looking at something that's free. Now, if you're looking at something that is a little bit more, you want to take it one notch up, you want to be able to do some fancy thing, for example, then definitely I would say, on the computer, you want to consider signing up for a package or a plan on StreamYard or Restream. Now, immediately, I can tell you my experience with StreamYard because that's something that I've used both with the free as well as the paid version. I had a great experience there because primarily it allows me to remove the StreamYard watermark, and it allows me to do a lot more customization. Like, I am able to do lower thirds in terms of putting my brand and all that. And so it gives you a little bit more flexibility, a lot more flexibility, I would say. And right now, as I know, if on the paid plan, you actually are able to stream live at 1080p, whereas previously you can only stream live at 720p. And so there is a huge difference if you ask me, because with 720p, the resolution isn't that good. Right now, at this point in time, most of us who stream live on Facebook, you at best you're only getting 720p. But on YouTube itself, I'm actually able to get 1080p. And so if you have a paid version of StreamYard, it allows you to stream at a higher resolution. And higher resolution is always good, right? Higher resolution is always good. Okay, so um, on the computer, take it one notch up, go for the paid ones. If you're not ready to commit to an annual plan, just sign up for a 1 month. And in fact, if you sign up right now with StreamYard, for example, you get a free, I think, 14-day trial of their pro feature, which I think is a good thing to do. And you can immediately get started and play around with that and see if that's something that you like. Okay, so that is taking one notch up on the computer. Now, taking one notch up on the cell phone, what I will recommend is that if you want to take it one notch up on a cell phone, definitely you want to consider Switcher Studio. Now, the only limitation is that Switcher Studio is only available on iOS, and that's one of the reasons why I switched from um, all Android to iOS, because I wanted to be able to use the app called Switcher Studio, right? I mean, when I'm at home or when I'm in the office or when I'm in the studio, I have access to my A10 Mini, which enables me to do all this fancy switching stuff. But I can't possibly be carrying this A10 Mini on the go. And besides, it requires a AC connection itself. So I can't possibly be doing on the go. But with the Switcher Studio, I can actually live stream on the go with good quality. And in addition to that, it allows me to switch cameras and use multi cameras, for example. And so it's a really, really great option. I mean, if you ask me, and I think that is something that you will want to consider. Obviously, it's a bit pricey, but if you have a commercial reasons for using that, I think it's a great piece of tool to consider, right? In addition to that, I love their tutorial videos. They make it so fun, they make it so easy to watch, and they make it so simple for you to learn the apps itself. So, even if you have very, very limited experience with live streaming, just going on to their channels and watching their YouTube videos, you would definitely get a ton of instructions and tutorials about what you should do. Right. So you definitely want to check out Future Studio. Now let's go back to the computer. Now on the computer itself, of course, there are other tools like Ecamm Live, and that's for Mac only. There's this other tool that I have not used, but I have been contemplating. Um, it's a little bit on the pricey side, but the kind of features that it gives you, it's tremendous. And this tool is called Wirecast, right? So Wirecast is available for both for Mac as well as Windows. And Wirecast has got a range of functionalities that you would get with and more with things like Switcher Studio, StreamYard, and of course Restream. And personally, what I like about Wirecast is that it's a tool that you paid once and you can continually use it. It's not on a subscription basis. Of course, it gives you, when you buy, it only gives you 1 year of technical support, which is fair. And if you want technical support thereafter, you would have to purchase a plan, which I think that is fair. So if you are not, fond of a subscription base, then definitely you want to check out Wirecast. So who might Wirecast be suitable for? So if you know that you are going to be doing live streaming and there's going to be commercial value out of that, or you are kind of producing live shows for your clients and you want good control and it makes sense itself, then definitely you want to get Wirecast because it's so powerful. You do not even need a switcher like A10 Mini to do that because all that can be done via the software itself. And I think that is a great tool for the last I saw, I think it was 599 um, US for the studio version and a little bit more for the pro version. I would have gone for the studio version and just give it a test run. Right now, if you sign up, I believe there is a 14-day trial, so you can take it for a spin and see how it works for you. So, like I said, if you're getting some commercial value and you have commercial reasons to want to be able to manage a stream professionally, definitely Wirecast is something that you can look at. But if you are just wanting to do a live show like me, and you want to be able to have not have too many hardware, you just want a camera, your lights, your microphone, and you're good to go, then definitely you want to consider um, subscribing to either Restream or StreamYard because it gives you a lot more control and it also gives you the ability to do overlay, lower thirds, and screen share and all that cool stuff, right? So that's definitely something that you want to consider. And of course, if you are just starting out, you are just still experimenting, and so there is probably no reason at this point in time for you to be plonking down a bunch of money um, to for your live streaming at this point in time. Then I would not suggest that you invest too much money in it. So what you might want to do is you might want to get a good enough a webcam to get started. You might at least want to just use the headphones that come with your cell phone as a microphone, because at least those are kind of closer to your mouth, and it will definitely enhance the audio level, right? So just an external webcam. Use the headphones that come with your cell phone, and maybe just get a cheap ring light, and I think that will be good enough, right? That is of course if you are streaming with your computer, right? And you can use the same configuration if you are streaming with a cell phone itself. And at this point in time, if you're just experimenting, then maybe there is no need for you to invest the money into buying software and expensive hardware. Um, then, of course, when you are ready and you want to start doing this, seriously, and you also see commercial value out of it, then definitely you want to invest in a camera, you want to invest in a mic, you want to invest in some lighting, and you may want to consider investing in a software that allows you to do multi camera, as well as bring in gas and to do lower thirds and overlays as well. Right. So I hope that has been helpful. If you started if you're just starting out with doing live streaming and you have got questions, feel free to leave me those questions yourself. I look at all the comments and I answer to every single question that you may have. All right. And so if you do have a question, if you want to start live streaming and you not quite sure how to get started, make sure you connect with me and I'll be sure to help you out. And by the way, this episode is sponsored by Catalytic Courses. If you want to pursue your digital ambition and you are not sure where to start, then head on down to catalyticcourses.com, because over there you'll find a range of topics that will help you get started on your journey towards pursuing your digital ambition. All right. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.